William Friedkin's The French Connection isn't just a police procedural. It's a visceral plunge into the underbelly of urban decay and moral ambiguity. It's a film that captures the grit and grime of New York City in the early 70s and a time of incredible social change. But beneath its kinetic energy lies a complex exploration of obsession, corruption, and the erosion of ideals. On the surface, it's a thrilling cat and mouse game, but underneath, it's a raw and powerful character study, a meditation on the cost of fighting crime in a world that often seems indifferent. Welcome to Decoding the Classics, where we dissect cinema's most endearing films. I'm Sean Weathers.
And I'm Angus Combe. Today we're chasing down one of the most realistic and unrelenting depictions of law enforcement ever filmed, William Friedkin's The French Connection, a 1971 crime thriller starring Gene Hackman, Roy Scheider, and Fernando. So let's start the pursuit. William Friedkin didn't want to make a polished Hollywood crime drama. He wanted to create a documentary-style experience, immersing the audience in the chaos and unpredictability of police work. He drew inspiration from real-life accounts of NYPD detectives and aimed for a level of authenticity rarely seen in mainstream cinema. Friedkin employed a guerrilla filmmaking approach, shooting on location without permits, improvising scenes, and pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable. This resulted in a raw, kinetic energy that defined the film's visual style. For instance, the iconic car chase scene under the elevated train was largely improvised. Friedkin didn't get permits and told the cameras to just keep rolling. The near misses, the terrified reactions of pedestrians, and the sheer sense of danger were all real, a true reflection of the film's intention.
The French Connection is a masterclass in visual storytelling, using subtle cues to convey meaning and enhance the film's atmosphere. Look at the use of long lenses, which compress the space and create a sense of claustrophobia. The grainy film stock adds to the gritty realism, while the desaturated color palette reflects the bleakness of the urban landscape. Consider the contrast between Popeye Doyle's chaotic energy and Charnier's composed elegance. Doyle is often framed in tight close-ups, highlighting his intensity, while Charnier is presented in wider shots, emphasizing his control and detachment. Even the costume design is symbolic. Doyle's rumpled-up clothes and pork pie hat reflect his unconventional methods, while Charnier's tailored suits and sophisticated demeanor underscore his status as a refined criminal.
Popeye Doyle isn't a traditional hero. He's a flawed, obsessive, and often reckless character. His methods are questionable, his prejudices are blatant, and his personal life is a mess. But he's also fiercely dedicated to his job, driven by a relentless pursuit of justice. Doyle, Gene Hackman, represents the blurred lines between right and wrong. His racism is shocking to modern viewers, but also a reflection of the attitudes that were prevalent at the time. Charnier, Fernando, embodies sophistication and control. He is cultured and ruthless, a formidable adversary for Doyle. Buddy Russo, Roy Scheider, is the voice of reason, often questioning Doyle's methods and providing a moral compass. Watch how Doyle's actions escalate throughout the film. He starts as a driven detective, but his obsession with catching Charnier leads him to cross ethical lines, ultimately compromising his own integrity.
The sound design in The French Connection is crucial to creating the film's immersive and unsettling atmosphere. The cacophony of city noises, traffic, sirens, shouting, adds to the sense of chaos and unease. Don Ellis's score is equally effective, using dissonant jazz and pulsating electronic music to heighten the tension. The score's frantic energy underscores the urgency of the chase and the paranoia of the characters. The film is particularly notable for its use of silence. Moments of quiet create a sense of anticipation, amplifying the impact of sudden bursts of violence or action. Listen to the silence before and after the car chase. They're as important to the scene as the chase itself.
The film's ending is ambiguous and unsatisfying, reflecting the complexities of real-life investigations. Doyle doesn't get his man, and the final scene leaves us with a sense of moral ambiguity and uncertainty. Friedkin deliberately avoided a tidy resolution, wanting to show that the fight against crime is a never-ending battle. The real-life case on which the film was based also had an unresolved ending, further emphasizing the film's commitment to realism. Doyle's accidental shooting of Muldrig, the federal agent, shows that there is no victory in war, there is only survival.
The French Connection isn't just a thrilling crime film. It's a haunting reflection on justice, morality, and the corrosive effects of obsession. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the society we live in. The late Gene Hackman delivers an iconic performance as Popeye Doyle, a man teetering on the edge. His flaws are as compelling as his virtues. Doyle is relentless, consumed by his job. But to what end? Does justice come at too high a price? The film doesn't just depict the pursuit of justice. It questions whether justice is even attainable. Corruption isn't confined to back alleys. It's institutionalized, systemic. It doesn't just live in the minds of criminals. It infects those who have sworn to protect us. We're all vulnerable to compromise, temptation, and the slow erosion of morality. Its power lies not in its action sequences, but in its unflinching portrayal of human fallibility. It's a stark reminder that the line between good and evil is often blurred, and that even the most well-intentioned can be consumed by their own obsessions. Full disclosure, as a New York City guerrilla filmmaker whose films explore sex, drugs, crime, and morally bankrupt characters, it's nearly impossible for me not to love this film. But bias aside, The French Connection transcends personal taste. It helped usher in a new era of gritty, realistic filmmaking in Hollywood. It was the defining role of one of America's greatest actors, the late Gene Hackman. It won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actor. In 2005, the Library of Congress inducted it into the National Film Registry. Simply put, this isn't just one of the greatest films ever made. It is the greatest film ever made.
Before we wrap up, we want to take a moment to acknowledge the passing of Gene Hackman, one of the greatest actors of all time. Whether he was playing a ruthless villain, a flawed hero, or something in between, he brought an unmatched depth to every role. His legacy in cinema is undeniable.
From The French Connection to Unforgiven, Superman to the Royal Tenenbaums, Hackman left behind a body of work that will be studied, celebrated, and rewatched for generations. Rest in peace, Gene. You are one of the best to ever do it.